Well, here we go. Picks and bans for game number 2. Samsung versus SK Telecom T1. And Lysandra, Fizz, the first bans, of course, not wanting to let Bliss have that Fizz. Bliss's Fizz. That's a little bit of a tongue twister. And Xerath ban. Okay, good. So that means we won't see it blind picked. Thank you, Samsung. I appreciate that. I feel like that actually does help out SK Telecom more than it does Samsung.
So same bans this time, even though SKT T1 will be on the red side. Meanwhile, no need to ban the LeBlanc against EasyHoon. Certainly not a signature champion for him. Instead, they go for arguably EasyHoon's, or one of, I should say, his best champions in Xerath. He has been very impressive. And the Janna pick.
Now, interestingly enough, speaking about EasyHoon's champions, Syndra did take a little bit of a hit with her early Q damage. Quite a big hit, actually. And so will that really affect, how often we're going to see her? I don't know. The utility is still there. The accuracy, I guess you could say, or the... How would you describe that as far as the scatter the meek hitting? Scatter the weak. Call them meek.
Scatter the weak.
Scatter the weak.
I know, it confuses me every time, too.
Rito, please. You're doing to us. Either way, that got slightly nerfed, quote-unquote, by making the... hitboxes a bit more quote-unquote accurate, quote-unquote.
I feel if you're a good Syndra player, sure, she's not going to have the same level of bullying, which was perhaps excessive.
Perhaps.
But for the good Syndra players, using Scatter the Weak should still be simple enough. And Corky Jarvan, possibly the takeaways right here. I think that's pretty darn good.
I would say so. Waiting, though. Do they really want the Corky? Yeah, I think you do. Would not be bad at all to keep that away from Samsung.
Of course, some slight nerfs to Gnar's lane dominance in this patch by changing the cooldown refund on the Boomerang, so he's not quite so easy to harass with in this new patch and should provide a little bit of respite for some of these other top laners that have to go into a 1v1 against him.
Yeah.
What is Samsung going to go for here?
Now, Corky also has a more expensive Valkyrie, but unless you're spamming it, I don't think that's really going to matter.
Yeah, probably not the biggest change in the world.
No.
They could take away the Kassadin.
Wouldn't be a bad takeaway.
Kassadin did fall all the way through the draft in our last game, something that we don't see very frequently here in Korean League of Legends, considering it is such a very good flex pick. And I would assume SK Telecom will take that if it's still available in the second round of the draft, because they do have last pick, so they can decide where it goes.
Rengar's still available as well, too, but it looks like Bliss is going to lock in that Lee Sin for Eve. And Eve grabbing the Syndra.
Sivir. Yeah, and
some.
So pretty solid pick ban phase for both teams so far. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Going for that bully lane. SK Telecom may opt to lane swap right here, something that hasn't been Samsung's strength. They just don't have the professional experience, sometimes making mistakes and setting some of their players a little bit too far behind. Looking at the Nami as a possible disengage tool from the Sivir ult at the moment.
Well, it's certainly a good one.
Marin having a conversation with the coach, and then relaying some instructions into his microphone.
It's like, just what would Faker pick? What would Faker do? Tell me.
I think Kassadin is perfectly fine here. But they're going to actually take the Gnar.
All right, Narvin incoming. Or
Maokai switching it at the last second. He did have a great game on Maokai last time.
It certainly did. Nothing wrong at all with that. We've seen his Gnar. It's been a bit lackluster. I think the Maokai is a much more solid pickup. Well, the Nami locked in as well.
If you pick the Kassadin there too, I suppose the danger is that having not seen either of the solo laners, there's a possibility that they pick 2 counters to Kassadin, so at least they get 1 winning matchup.
Right.
But Kassadin could be safely last pick here. Kassadin could also be taken by Samsung and put into the top lane against the Maokai. Of course, you can be pretty safe in that matchup, and I think that's what they're going to do. Just spamming the Q to get that shield. Ooh, wow, blind big rise would be a little bit dodgy.
Yeah.
LeBlanc
All right.
A very safe choice for Bliss in the mid lane. I think this is a good draft so far from Samsung.
Yeah, it just doesn't provide a lot of countering options for SK Telecom, aside from a possible lane swap.
Question is, can Bliss play LeBlanc? Obviously a challenging champion mechanically, and a big change from his Morgana in the last game. A Zed possibly coming in. That is not a very easy Hoon style champion.
I was going to say, speaking of big changes.
Play the Veigar. That's what I want to see.
Please. Oh, that would be so cool. And, you know, I mean, if you can predict where LeBlanc is going to go, or even if you're not totally predicting it, you can actually hurt LeBlanc pretty badly with this Veigar.
You can see Koma gesturing furiously.
It's like, quick, go to Jace.
Yeah, that, out of the champions we've seen so far, Jace certainly a comfort pick for easy Hoon.
Unfortunately, it makes a bit more sense than the Veigar, but oh well. I can dream, can't I?
I'll have to be a little bit worried about LeBlanc all-ins all the same. Getting a lot of poke damage, and with those skill shots that Jace has, can be a bit difficult to trade.
Yeah.
But for the most part, should be pretty farm-oriented lane. And they've got great poke, huge mid-game power spike for SK Telecom. Once Jace stacks up that tier and Corki gets the T-Force and the Sork shoes, they will be in a great position to siege.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, last game we saw SK Telecom kind of take a backseat to the aggression department, you know, just kind of sit back, wait to build up that strength. In this game, they've got a very definite time where they're going to be trying to put their dominance out on the map.
Right, and of course the issue will be Samsung has these two backline assassins in Cassidy and LeBlanc. If they can get onto Easy Hoon and Bang in the late game, there's not going to be a lot SK Telecom's going to be able to do. Of course, with that power spike, I assume SK Telecom will be able to get a number of turrets and put down a lot of pressure and take control over the Dragon Pit. But it's about Samsung. If they can arrive in the late game without too much of a deficit, they're going to be really well positioned to hunt down Easy Hoon and Bang with the Sivir ultimate.
All right, here we go, guys. Game 2, can Samsung tie it up, or does SKT get the 2-0? Let's get in the game and find out. I feel like at the end of that, just pop up and say Chick-fil-A.
I like how, you know, now that Faker doesn't have to play, he can just stand around in the Room of Falling Feathers.
That's right. The Room of Fallen Feathers. Wow, if that doesn't sound like a Kung Fu movie title, I don't know what does, man. I don't know what does. Best Kung Fu movie title ever. SK Telecom versus Samsung. Welcome once again to this happy little place we call Summoner's Rift, or just Rift, since there's no more Summoners.
It's now just an anachronism.
Yep. Bliss taunting Easy Hoon mercilessly with the W.
That's how you do, you BM people with the W.
Like, I'm right here, I'm right here.
So the question is SKT going to lane swap out of this pretty horrible Sivir Janna lane that will be able to abuse them with the long-range poke early on?
Yeah.
Fury,
Bang, bang.
gonna get hit right there. A couple autos. Ooh, they get the ward as well.
Wow, they did.
Taking that one out.
Yep.
Inside the brush, so no vision in try early on for SK Telecom. They are going to recall, but it looks like we will not have a lane swap. I mean, Cassidy should do pretty well here against the Maokai also.
Huh.
I don't know about this. This does seem like SK Telecom, especially since we know Samsung is a little bit shaky in the lane swap. This seems a little bit lazy from them. I don't really see a reason why you wouldn't lane swap if you're SKT in this situation.
It's a bit cocky, and the surprising thing is that SK Telecom really needs the 2-0 here. You know, I mean, one thing that's lacking right now for them, or one of the things that's lacking, is their overall, you know, game score, I guess you could say. And so you want the 2-0 here. You don't want the 2-1.
Right. Well, Maokai, again with the sapling stack inside the Raptor pit, so he will hit that faster level 2 against Kuve. Bang and Peekaboo. Just going to go ahead and farm it up. Well, pull off the wave here.
And Nami can...
That was a really bad
easily.
P-bomb.
Oh, well. You'll get him anyway.
And And Bliss putting down some early harass. Kube is going to get a little bit of the worst end of a trade at level 2 as Marin goes in with the sapling and the twisted advance.
Yep.
Otherwise, we should see a lot of patient farming right here. Bengi clears half his jungle and we'll go back.
And not a huge amount of action early on.
No little level 2 gank tricks from this time from Eve. Not really a possibility of getting a kill. So he'll do the more normal jungle path, picking up the red buff. Bengi with the Trailblazer.
Oh, Marin getting a bit aggressive, going in with the twisted advance.
But that's the thing, is that Kube does have that magic damage shield. So that's this lane is quite good for Kassadin, because he can just Q and then walk up and melee minions before the CS.
What's twisted about that advance exactly? It's the roots maybe that are implied to be twisted?
I guess.
I mean, Maokai is kind of a tree, a natural thing twisted by magic. I suppose there is that. So when he moves forward, it is in a twisted manner, I guess. But
there we go.
Yeah,
Nailed
figured it out. Thank you, Lore. Hooray. Hooray, Lore. Well, Fury's going to have to do a bit of farming under turret. Bang actually managing to push this lane up.
Yeah, they do get that little bit of a level advantage thanks to that wave being pushed into their tower so quickly early on.
Yep.
And they were able to farm up safely, deny a few of those creeps, and so they do miss out on some of the harassment by Fury and Rain.
I mean, the interesting thing with the Nami-Janna matchup is that you can Tidecrawler's Blessing yourself and poke whoever the shield's not on, and then if you get poked a little bit, you just heal.
Kube quite low right there. Marin doesn't have any mana to follow up this play, however. Bengi not going to look for that gank, instead heading back to his own jungle. Gets some good deep wards in, though. That play by Bengi, like a lot better timing on his wards than we saw last game, where he was living a bit dangerously. Instead, right there, having both his mid and top pushed up. And since Eve did start on blue side and then had moved down to his red side jungle, very safe deep vision, and now he will have a very good idea about where Eve is on the map.
Yep. He knows. Oh, Bengi going in on the Bliss. There's a nice amount of damage. They pop that passive. Bengi locked up by the W, though.
Yeah, nice little bit of poke right there. That's just good for relieving some pressure from EasyHoon. You can see EasyHoon did take the heal this game as a precautionary measure against LeBlanc all ends.
We'll see if Eve can maybe make a play off this. Doesn't look like he really wants to try right now.
Well, EasyHoon really wants to recall as well, get that tier as early as possible.
Yep. You know, Danger is Bengi's middle name. Bengi Danger Telecom is his full name.
Well, he has been living dangerously in general these days, finding some very odd times to ward, sometimes fatally strange.
International, well, not really international, a national man of mystery.
Oh, he's competed plenty of times internationally, Doa.
I suppose, but he's not like, you know, he didn't go to another country to play, per se, on a different team. You know?
On a different team?
Yeah, yeah. Like, I'm saying he didn't leave Korea and go join a Chinese team like everybody else.
He's still here.
Yeah. I'd say so. I suppose his play is not very, well, sometimes it's mysterious, but not really in a good way. I guess he does have that.
Well,
see, I don't want to be an international man of mystery. I'm fine with just being an international man of ambiguity. I don't.
Well, you're not very mysterious on camera all the time,
I'm not
you know.
that hardcore. That's true.
Bengi coming around, just clearing out some wards in the mid lane for EasyHoon. And this will be another game where SK Telecom is just going to want to stack up. Very similar situation. It's just, I mean,
oh, nice poke.
Marin will want to get that Rod of Ages. We've got to see that tier.
Yep.
Start leveling up, and it should just be another timing game for SK Telecom. They did hit the timing very well in the last game. Even after they gave up a 21-minute Baron, they still closed the game in 32 minutes. So SKT, team that really knows when to fight, when they're strong, and also able to close games very decisively.
That's one thing that they've always done, that SK Telecom K has always done, and this team, you know, still does, is that there's a point in the game where they'll be like, all right, we got this advantage. We know how to use it perfectly, and they can really close faster than a lot of other teams. They've had their missteps, but that's one thing that SK Telecom has never really lost.
Right, and the only problems they had last game were foolishly giving up some objectives early on. So trying to fight a little bit too early, a bit of overconfidence, but once they hit that power spike, it was pretty smooth sailing from that point forward. In this game, SK Telecom, they're just getting down vision. Bengi not really going for the ganks. I mean, Samsung a little bit too mobile in all lanes effectively, good disengage and bot as well. So instead, what we see Bengi doing this game is just providing vision in both sides of the jungle. I mean, there's some more deep wards coming in from Peekaboo. They've had great knowledge of where Eve is this entire game so far, and as long as they can prevent their lanes from getting ganked, they will be safely able to scale.
Oh, Janna's walking right into a gank. Oh, Aqua Prison, Wraith in big, big trouble. There's the exhaust going down on two people, actually. Wraith trying to get away. There's the flash. Nice whirlwind, and he makes it out. Summoners used on both sides, but more importantly, Wraith having to burn his flash there.
Great reaction from EasyHoon as well. Gets into the brush right behind the red buff, prevents them from following up, and then comes down to help Peekaboo and Bengi get out of the jungle. Good ward timing, and SK Telecom just looking really good this game, actually.
Oh, what a great amount of poke here, actually, from Bengi. That's perfect, because right after this blue buff, I feel like they could go for Dragon here.
Yeah, they absolutely can. Transition immediately into a Dragon right here. You can see Marin is just waiting in the top fountain right now to see if he needs to use Teleport. They may be looking at a dive. They have plenty of wards. Here we go, dive incoming.
Yep, that's right, Teleport. Marin trying to come in from behind for the flank. Eve is there as well, and they're just going to scare him away, so this will end up being a Dragon for SK Telecom.
Nice use of Teleport, though. Might as well see if you can get that advantage. Eve was there, so they probably wouldn't have dove anyway, but now they can get a tower and possibly the Dragon as well. Marin delaying the recalls. Fantastic.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah, I agree. Beautifully done by Marin.
Only one word can describe that. It's apparently beautiful.
Really nice. And so now they get the tower, and they're going to get the Dragon. No way that Fury can recall before this actually goes down. Oh, they're not going to go for the Dragon.
Huh. Now that's a bit surprising. I mean, Eve is there. His summoners are up, I suppose. Maybe they think it's a little bit more too dangerous, but yeah, I feel like they could have just rotated around for that Dragon too. Huh.
I guess they were a bit concerned about the mid lane.
It is a little early too.
Being pushed up. Kuve, of course, the teleport, but Kuve going for that scaling Rod of Ages as well. So, I don't know. Now, there wasn't a threat of Samsung taking it right there either because of the recall timing from Fury. So, I suppose that is the safest possible play. Take the one advantage and still be confident that you're going to be able to get this Dragon, because with the bot lane out, you could just push it up.
Yeah.
Get that control and then take it perhaps slightly more safely in a few minutes.
I am happy to see SKT played out like that, actually, because again, it's so important that they get the 2v2 and not risk a 2v1 here. Again, this may seem one-sided, but this is actually a very big match for SKT in my mind, in that they need to prove that they're still a really, really good team. As weird as that sounds, they have not had the best season so far, and if they can get a big win, a big convincing win over Samsung, I think that does help.
Yeah, and the 2-0, very important for them as well, like you were saying. Having that little bit of a differential in the point standings could affect their fortune later on in this spring season. And there we go.
The fans need a 2-0.
The fans need a 2-0.
I need a 2-0. I need this to be a 2-0, Monty. I go home and I see my SK Telecom mug, and like a single tear comes down my cheek. And I see like the little crack in the handle, and I'm like, yeah, that really does kind of say it all right now, doesn't it?
Well, SK Telecom is getting all the tears in this series so far.
So. The good kind, though.
The good kind. The
That's
kind
right.
that you want.
The ones that you fill with the real tears of your victims. That's right. Bang has managed to get a CS lead. I mean, it was not the most favorable 2v2 for SK Telecom, but they played it out really well.
And Bengi really has done a good job this game. After some very weird attempts at ganks, unnecessarily showing himself on the map, risky warding attempts, he has largely shut down Eve's ability to gank this game just through a superior vision control. So this is a big step up from the last match we saw. And I think this is Bengi at his best. He doesn't have to be, Bengi doesn't have to be a star player on this team, especially with the Faker and Marin combo. If he provides Faker and Marin enough vision and can just effectively counter gank or alert his solo lanes to where their jungler is, he could just be a role player on this team. And I think that his overcommitment to ganking has really been his downfall, giving up an unnecessarily large number of kills.
Yeah. Well, I agree. I mean, and you see teams like that. There's been examples as well in the past. You know, watch on Najin's Sword, Cloud Templar on CJ Frost. You have these junglers that just do their role. They do it well. They aren't flashy or anything like that, but they're kind of where they need to be and they're getting the vision they need to get.
Yeah. So I think that this is a big improvement in a style that suits Bengi a bit better than what we've seen him attempt to do in the past few weeks.
Oh, yeah. I really feel like the only champion who's been able to be successfully aggressive on is Vi. And I feel like that was kind of a short-lived thing.
That was a long time ago as well.
That was indeed. That was Season 3 Worlds. Around that time.
Kuve just a bit more harassment damage here from Marin, who he's arcane smashing him very close to his tower.
Yep. Smashing.
All right. So Bengi just spending most of his time in the river right now, seeing what he can see on that side of the map. Eve and Wraith going in for a dragon.
You know, SKT knows about this. Now they do for sure.
They have no teleport though.
Yeah, it looks like they got a turret in the meantime. That's good enough. Peekaboo really harassing hard. There's the Aqua Prison. The smite comes through anyway. And that's going to be a dragon for Samsung Galaxy. But again, during that, SK Telecom gets top turret.
Yep. So 2 towers down now for SKT. They're going to feel comfortable, absolutely fine with that trade. Not really a big deal. Kuve was holding back, waiting to use TP if necessary. So SKT playing the smart game here, not really.
Oh, come on, Easy. Well, they call him Easy Who, not Easy Blue. That was terrible.
That was real bad.
I hope this is a 2-0 now, for everyone's sake. Oh, Fury takes advantage. There's a tidal wave. He flashes. He still gets knocked up, but smart not to go that far, especially when there's a teleport coming in for Kuve. Bang, Valkyrie's away. That costs twice as much mana now, Bang. Look out. Looks like he'll still escape.
Yeah, gets out of the way just fine. Bengi is there just in case they follow up. In the right place. Can they save this tower, however? No mana on this Corki.
They're going to turn around. There's the teleport coming in. Bliss. Wow, really getting himself poked out hard. Not sure what he was really trying to accomplish there. Marin with the teleport, though, helps SK Telecom save that bottom turret.
Yeah, good teleport. Questionable attempt at an engage from Bliss right there. 3 people going in. Even without any mana on Corki, still the danger of getting CC'd, and a flash down now for Samsung's mid laner.
There is the Triforce for Corki, so between that and Easy Hoon's Muramana, or Manamune rather, they're getting pretty close to a nice power spike there.
Yeah.
Marin already with that Rod of Ages is doing fine himself.
So now for Samsung, it's all about getting in that back line. They find themselves in a little bit of a deficit after losing a couple towers early, and here we go. Everybody's just going to pile into the mid lane right now for SK Telecom and try and take down this last outer.
Makes sense. Rotate away. Oh, Bliss uses that W. Oh, nice poke. They nearly take out Bliss right there. Between the Shock Blast and the Corki Rockets, wow.
Bliss is not playing LeBlanc particularly well this game. He's eating a lot of poke. He doesn't seem to know his limits as he went in under that tower and then had to get out nearly immediately using his flash.
Or the ward, rather.
And here we go.
There we go. Mid lane should be going down soon. Not
Jace is actually backing off right there. Well, it's just it's a war of poke attrition at this point. Deep wards in from SKT. Their vision of this game has been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. They pretty much have control over the entire enemy jungle. Very little in the top jungle that Samsung can feel comfortable walking through.
Yeah, Fury has to go the long way around right now. Peekaboo and Bang lurking in some brushes. They are not actually going to see Wraith at the moment. And they will back off and clear out a pink ward and try.
All right, well, Samsung doing a okay job of trying to, lots of damage onto Easy, trying to reclaim that vision in their jungle. They get some of it.
EasyHoon with that Hex Drinker, though, so he has itemized to at least survive the Blanc burst a little bit better.
Yep.
Actually surprised that SKT backed off so quickly right there.
Well, they seem to just be playing it really safe. Wow, Bang gets knocked up. What in the world? Bang has to Valkyrie go off the flash, but with that first blood for Eve as he follows that one through, Bang. I don't know if he was like tabbed out browsing Reddit or what was going on there, man, but that was not good.
I don't know why he was in that brush, which definitely had the potential to be warded right there. Made it quite an easy kill, actually. Yeah, and now they're going to lose their bottom tier 1. Could have been sitting back protecting that. Looks like we will see a tower trade, though. Marin providing that tanky front line in the mid lane. Kuve maybe coming in. He has to be very careful.
Oh, Marin taking a lot of damage. Goes in with the Twisted Vents. That is dangerous. Bliss takes a lot of damage. Wraith is there. They get the knock-up onto a couple of them. Kuve comes in. He gets knocked up by that tidal wave. You're right, though. No mana. They can't really follow this up. Dragging up at about a minute 30. That turret practically dead. 23 health remaining.
Yeah, throughout that skirmish as well, they were able to put the necessary damage down onto this tower, and now with a minute up for Dragon, SKT should be able just to push up
one auto. That'll do it.
Into the mid lane and start really taking control. Having that mid lane turret ups for them will give them a large advantage when they decide to go for this Dragon. EasyHoon sticking around the mid lane for the moment. Still not a lot of armor penetration because he had to go for that Hex Drinker. So he won't be hitting quite so hard with those long-range shock blasts.
I suppose.
He's going to go back right now. There's plenty of time.
Ooh, Last Whisper.
Yeah, so had a lot of money right there, immediately building the Last Whisper straight out of the longsword. That's going to change things. That's going to change things significantly now, right here.
Bang?
Bang actually going for Vamp over.
I was going to say, yeah.
I think you should just go for Sork Shoes right now. I realize that he is worried a little bit about these assassins and maybe wanting a little bit more sustain, but just the Sork Shoes right now should be good enough, especially with the rest of his team to deal with this. Marin going for the Glacial Shroud. Really think that a Cowl would be better in this situation. Of course, Fury is going to be a threat with the Infinity Edge.
Oh, here we go. There's the engage. Bengi comes in, doesn't get any knockups. Nice response, Whirlwind from Wraith. And it's a battle over the red buff. It looks like SK Telecom will get it. A little bit of poke coming in onto Eve. Bengi, whoa, Bengi just walks in and dies. Eve kicking EasyHoon back. Now SKT could be in a bit of trouble. Marin is down there. Bang loading some damage on with that Gatling gun. Again, Wraith disengaging with the Whirlwind, but Marin chasing. Can he get close enough? Not quite. That Glacial Shroud coming in handy right there, but Bang getting poked. Marin has to go back in, pops his ultimate. Kube taking a lot of damage, force use that flash. There's the tidal wave. Everybody knocked up there.
And
Dragon's back.
Yeah, they probably shouldn't go for this Dragon right now. They just need to control it. Lots of recalls coming in from Samsung.
I don't know what Bengi was really doing there. Just kind of walked into the enemy team.
Yeah, didn't even trigger his ult before he went down. Dragon will be attempted here by SK Telecom. Looks like they should be able to get it. Bliss seeing if he can get in on the periphery, but he's not.
Right there. That's okay.
Oh, he just face planted into a wall right there, actually.
Whoops.
Messed up his W.
W stands for wall in that case, I guess. And whoops.
Let's take a look at this again. I mean,
sick plays by Bengi. There you go.
Just gets bursted down quite simply by the LeBlanc damage. Could have at least ulted. If he had ulted right there and bottled everybody from Samsung up, they could have gotten some really damaging poke down from Bang and EasyHoon. Instead, dies without doing much of anything.
Yeah. Literally doing nothing. And you can see, though, how
great
tanky
tidal
Marin
wave
is already
though.
getting. Yeah, that is a good tidal wave. Again, you know, Nami's for the disengage. Works out well. Yeah, I mean, Marin, with only that Glacial Shroud, already getting really hard to kill, as we saw in that last fight. Going in onto Kube, Wraith is there. Actually, everybody's there. SK Telecom coming in. Can they make a play here? No tidal wave or anything like that. They forced a flash out of Wraith, though.
Marin's been great in this series so far. His positioning has been excellent. His teleports on point. And he's been doing very nice work in terms of zoning, which is great to see from Marin, who we know mostly as a more carry-oriented top laner, but hasn't had the same effect on team fights as a zone player like Shy.
That said, SK Telecom still losing their mid turret there due do a quick rotation from Samsung. Bliss and Fury in kind of an awkward spot right now. Bliss goes in to try to get the pick onto Peekaboo, but does not work.
Instead, just takes a bunch of damage right there.
Yeah.
SKT, will they actually try and get some damage down onto a tier 2 in this situation? Still some deep wards. That pink ward has been in the back of Samsung's jungle for quite a long time now.
Yep. Well, Peekaboo is very close to getting his McHale's as well, and once that gets picked up, the chains from Bliss are just not going to really be a problem for SKT. So, again, you know, as time goes on, you see SK Telecom really setting up a team that's going to be very hard to fight for Samsung.
Right, and Samsung has to be, they have to control vision here, and they have to get those flanks, because if they engage SKT head on, that tidal wave is going to buy Bang and EasyHoon a ton of time just to put out damage. And nobody on Samsung too particularly tanky. Nice job by Samsung just to take out the last remaining tier 1 turret and even up that turret score. Only 400 gold behind for Samsung at the moment, and Kube getting pretty scary as well. So SKT needs to do more, especially with this next dragon fight.
Well, we'll see. Marin switching back up to that top lane now, and he can be a bit of a split pushing threat, it looks like.
Yeah, he has that Rod of Ages stack up. Finally has the Cowl as well, so he's going to be even more effective in the next team fight that takes place. Phantom Dancer for Fury. It's like very much prioritizing that item over the static shift, even though they don't have the safest wave clear in this game outside of Sivir's Boomerang Blade.
You know, it's funny too, because the only kills in this game go to Samsung, but Marin already with about a 60 CS lead.
Yeah, it's absolutely massive. If you notice what they've been doing as well, is that Marin has been taking all the empty lane farms so far in this game. He was just down in the bottom side, and powering him up is going to do them a lot of favors. We see CS advantages pretty much across the board here for SKT.
Yep.
And
I wonder if we're going to see Bang build into that Unity Edge. So it is going to be going a little bit later. Oh, there's a passive. There's a flash. Get that out of the rocket. Oh, tries to flash for the rocket.
Bliss will flash as well. So they trade flash for flash right there. Probably a little bit more of an advantage for LeBlanc in this scenario, just because she has an additional escape tool that is instant. And
here we go. Home guard teleport. Marin jumps right onto Fury. Everyone coming in. There's the tidal wave. Wraith with the right away to push people back. But this is going to, at least, I would imagine, get SKT a turret. Well, maybe not, as Samsung comes back up the lane. Bengi right there. He needs to come over the wall. He needs to engage. Bang in trouble. He will. Marin will join him.
But such good kiting from SK Telecom. They try for the dive. Don't quite get the angle they need.
Oh, Bliss with some damage onto EasyHoon over the wall. Peekaboo dangerously low health at the moment. Got to be careful. Dragging up in about a minute, too.
Good counterplay from Samsung.
Yeah.
Able to get the kick onto Bengi and threaten them enough that they do come back a poor recall location. Leads
I'm telling you,
to Peekaboo's demise as Bliss comes out and snipes him out of the lane.
I'm telling you, man, the bane of Korean League of Legends players. Really awful recall locations.
Oh, early home guard just to defend this tower from Bang right here. So he's not going to get there in time, it looks like, although, just barely. And SK Telecom right there, not the greatest side lane or side minion wave manipulation right there, allowing that large of a wave to develop while they were diving the mid. Usually want to clear that one out first so you don't end up in a situation where there is a counterplay afterwards.
Well, they may be giving a dragon over to SK Telecom here as well.
Yeah,
too. Bliss trying to recall, and SKT kind of slowing those recalls so much, and Marin barely doesn't catch him. That would have been possibly a dead Bliss without that flash, but either way, it's going to be a dead dragon in SK Telecom's favor. Yes, it will. So, SK Telecom grabs the dragon, but look at this, it's going to be a Baron for Samsung. I love this. I
don't think it will be a Baron for Samsung.
It's going to be an attempt anyway.
SKT already immediately reacting.
I like the attempt, though. I like the idea, you know?
Well, they got to try something at this point because
Yeah.
they know they're in a similar situation to the last game where Marin is getting massive.
Yep.
And will become pretty much unkillable pretty soon.
Mega Marin.
Mega Marin.
Yep. Mega Marin Maokai. Mercilessly massacring the...
I don't know if he's going to be mercilessly massacring, more like tanking all of the burst damage from Cassidon and LeBlanc.
Mercilessly not being massacred.
That's
by
right.
Samsung. I don't know. Alliteration is challenging. Hey, Gates. There's Gates in this rift. That's right. It's 5.1, guys. Finally.
Finally, at
Finally.
long last.
We should be moving to 5.2 fairly quickly, though.
Yeah, next week should
Yeah.
be when you go over to the new patch. So
Cross your fingers. You never know when it's get delayed randomly, apparently.
a random delay, but
Yep.
should be interesting to hit at that new patch
Yeah.
quite quickly. Only a brief stopover in patch 5.1 before we move right on over to number 2. Marin continuing just to devour this farm. Wow, Frozen Heart. Okay, I'm not really feeling that one, Doa.
Not the best item against non-auto attacking AP heavy teams. Yeah, I mean it's good against one person on their team, but that's only 1 out of 5.
Ryan Bliss with the 2 kills as well. So I guess he's comfortable with the fact that his ultimate and that 20% damage reduction will in fact be enough to allow him to weather the storm with just his HP and his cowl. It's not terrible.
Well, once he finishes Spirit Visage, he should be in a little bit better shape, I guess. But. And they also do have the Aegis on Benki, I just noticed too. So
Yeah, he'll probably go Veil, I would assume, but
yeah,
we'll see what that item ends up being.
that's probably right.
So, but in the meantime, Marin just continues to push the waves forward. Nobody can really deal with him right now.
Bliss is going to try. Yep, that's pretty much what I expected.
He does have the stacks now, fully stacked up on that Rod of Ages.
Yep.
Sivir going to talk to us while she takes a shock blast with her spell shield.
It's like, ow, that really hurt. Not. She's very 90s in that way.
Oh,
I guess.
Bengi actually stealing that one away. And now here comes the pressure. SK Telecom moving in with the minion wave into the bottom side. All that poke from SK Telecom. But they're actually not going to push it. Instead, they want to get control over that Baron. Kuve looking to dispatch this tower in the bottom lane.
Marin, I don't think is going to get there in time to stop
Yes,
this.
home guard.
Oh, yeah, maybe he will. That turret's so low, though. I'm watching the mini-map. Yeah, it looks like he'll get there in time. The minion wave pushing out just when Marin needed it to.
He's got the AoE as well. Easily able to take down this minion wave. And
Oh, yeah. AO easily.
okay. Some more dancing around. SK Telecom playing pretty passive this game so far, just waiting for Samsung to make a mistake. Low kill game.
Well, I mean, the thing is against a team like Samsung, you know, they don't have that veteran status. These guys are, you know, new to playing at the professional level, except for Fury and Wraith, and so they probably will make a mistake. Bang, though. Oh, boy, there's the output from Sivir. Oh, Bang. Yeah, he'll get away.
Wow, that was really nicely played by Bang. Nice
No kidding.
dodge on the skill shots. Able.
Oh,
Here
teleport
comes Marin. No more Sivir.
coming in for the flank. He's going to come from behind. Doesn't quite get the hit on Marin. There goes the tidal wave. They'll lock up Wraith. There's a nice Aqua Prison. Easy kill there. Marin just not taking a lot of damage from the Samsung team. Bliss hiding out in his jungle. But SK Telecom, they could start maybe thinking about baiting a Baron here after this pressure on the mid lane ends. We'll see if they can get the turret.
Well, there's LeBlanc coming around the side. Doesn't take out Peekaboo, and now Bliss is going to be on the run. Eating a couple rockets right there, but that does allow Samsung to clear out the mid lane. And that was a great counterplay from SKT. You see, Bang doesn't have to use really anything at all, except for heal, in order to escape that bait. Neatly dodging a lot of those skill shots, gets out with the acceleration gate, and with the Sivir ult down, Marin making the teleport flank play, and coming in to take out Wraith for SK Telecom's first kill of the game. It was very nicely done.
Oh, we see Fury going with that Phantom Dancer as well, too. So I think a lot of people are going to be getting that rather than the static ship at this point, it looks like, just to kind of even out the crit percentage that was lost on the IE.
Yeah, very important to late game damage output.
Yep.
Bengi also going for the Aegis this game, fast Aegis from him, and probably be building into that locket now, so that will be very effective for SK Telecom against these double AP assassins.
Yeah, definitely.
Help keep Peekaboo alive. Certainly.
easyHoon's had his Muro Mana now for a little bit, and he's got that Brutalizer on top of everything as well too, so he's going to start to really be hitting hard with those shot blasts. Bliss taking some damage, Fury as well, or Bang rather as well.
And Bliss really far away. He has that mobility, but very far away from Azonius at this point.
It's Dragon time. SK Telecom, they're just going to take Baron in response, it looks like. Oh, but Samsung, they turn around on it. Now, will SKT bait this, or will they just
Fury's
go for
going
it?
to try and solo it. I don't know if this is a good idea from Fury. They don't have the Sivir ult there in order to engage.
He's coming now, and they're not going to have an AD carry while they're going to try to stop this Baron. SK Telecom going for it. Bliss and Eve in the back of the pit. Here they come. Eve coming in. A lot of damage onto Bengi. They nearly take him out. The Zonia is used by Kube. There's that tidal wave going through. Doesn't really hit anyone. Bengi forced to recall, so they did prevent the Baron. But can they get anything out of this? Maybe a mid-tier 2?
Okay, they're going to run for it right now. 3 members in the mid lane, and now SK Telecom coming around to get them from behind. Bengi roaring up the mid lane. Are they actually going to catch anybody, though? They are so mobile.
Marin's
Sivir no
really
ult.
trying. Marin's trying.
Uh-oh.
Fury. Yeah, again, no ult. He's got his flash. He's got his heal. Kube still might be boxed in here by the
Marin
wolves.
doesn't want to use his W because of spell shield, so...
This is the craziest chase I've seen in a long time.
Wow, Bliss did a great job in that last fight, though, of poking Bengi out very quickly with the help of Kube. Marin still looking for something, but it looks like in the end, that dragon is SK Telecom for the taking. They traded for a tier 2 in the mid lane.
Marin can zone this all day, too, as well. Eve not even going to give it a try. And so, third dragon taken now by SK Telecom, and we'll see where they go from here. It looks like they may just want to rotate bot and take this turret.
Fury there recalling, has to be careful, very concerned about very concerned about the dive.
Yep.
And
if I ever get mystery gifted that skin, I'm just going to uninstall. Like, no. Like, email Riot, can you take this skin back, please?
Oh boy, now I'm going to start giving you mystery gifts.
Ooh, sweet. This might work out well. We'll see. I mystery champion gifted my friend the other day and ended up giving him Nara. That was a pretty sweet pickup.
Now you can dominate the top lane with your friend, is that right?
That's right. Well, he'll be doing the dominating in the top lane. I will dominate the bottom lane.
Ooh, interesting. Bang actually was looking like he was building into Infinity Edge and instead got the Bloodthirster just for that little bit of extra protection. Needed that overshield.
He's been a bit worried about that all game.
Well, it's I think a reasonable fear.
Yeah. A clear and present danger. It's true. I would agree. Well, Samsung trying to take a little bit of vision back near the Baron, and they will grab some of it, including the poor Rift Scuttle.
Last Whisper now coming in for Bang as well, so he will be very effective against whomever tries to take him out in the back line.
I like that you corrected yourself to whomever there. That really shows a great conscious care about grammar. I appreciate that about you.
As an English major, I take these things very seriously.
Well, maybe next time you won't even say who first at all.
We can only be so lucky. All right, well, Martin did actually finish the Spirit Visage, going for that extra CDR, I guess, instead. And of course, that will amp up his healing from his passive in the fight.
Bliss with a lot of damage onto Peekaboo. Gets poked in return, though, but Bliss, I think, really choosing his targets well here. Peekaboo has to play it very careful.
Bang.
He's recalling.
Bang,
Bang
did so much damage. Okay,
whoa!
goodbye, Wraith.
Even after the flash as well, too, getting that summoner out. Well, very nice.
They used a lot of cooldowns to get the damage onto Peekaboo. Couldn't quite kill him, and that allowed Bang to play that engagement much more aggressively than he typically would have been able to. Kube and Marin both with teleports up, but Kube having to play defensively right here, taking a lot of trade damage. He doesn't have any MR at the moment.
Can SKT bait this
Oh
Baron
man, he's just
successfully.
getting schooled by Marin at the moment.
Yeah.
Marin can even trade turret shots considering how tanky he is. SKT
Will this
standing
bait be
straight
successful?
into a ward.
Nice.
And Kube actually having to recall right now.
All right then. They are still in a ward. They're going for it. Samsung coming in from behind. This could be dangerous.
Here we go.
Teleport coming in. Eve going to come over. Baron still about half health. There's the tidal wave used. Bliss doing some damage. SKT turning things around though. Getting out there fairly easily. Kassadin trying to poke down Bang, but it's not really working. Fury getting caught up by Marin. In a lot of trouble. Goes down to EasyHoon. And SK Telecom taking that fight. Good response. As Samsung tried to stop the Baron, only ended up losing all their damage, and now SKT can just turn right back around and take it.
Great turn from SK Telecom. They just wanted to bait that fight, make sure that Samsung committed because they are so much more powerful at this point in time. Sure, they're at that bit of a gold deficit, but there's just not enough damage to deal with the tanks on SKT. Bang chunking out Bliss early and then finishing up with a flash.
Yep.
Now it's an easy Baron. SK Telecom really controlling this game right now, and Bang gonna devour the top lane farm in response. So here we go, everybody coming in. Bliss gets knocked up actually, and so eats a ton of damage. Can't quite get in. Quite easy for Bliss to flash forward after that. Marin will follow Fury after the flash. Knock him around a little bit with Arcane Smash. Fury not able to do anything at all to this Maokai that is currently past what I like to call the flame horizon, which is when a top laner gets 100 CS more than their top lane opponent.
Then we've entered the flame zone.
Yes, the flame CS horizon.
I see.
There we go. Marin has accomplished it. He is massive.
So if Marin's taking Kube to school, what kind of school is that? Like forestry school, or is he going to be a park ranger? What's going on?
The agriculture.
Yeah. Future farmers of America. Or anywhere, really, of Korea, I guess.
Now with the Abyssal as well, amp up his damage. I thought he'd be going to Veil, but nope, Abyssal, just for the quirky poke as well. And considering nobody has MR right now, that is going to be highly effective. Combined with his missiles, Eve opting for a Thorn Mail this game.
Yeah. Wow. Right.
Hoping to draw some autos once he gets into the back line. But, you know, Samsung just really hasn't found the flanks with this composition, and they were forced to fight at that Baron, and Bliss just not respecting the tidal wave, allowing himself to get CC'd when he was trying to get in and poke.
All right, well, SKT coming in big time now. They're going to take this turret without any problem. Kube tries to come in first. People up, Pickaboo getting low. Gets the tidal wave off just in time. That gets them a kill onto Bliss. Easy finally taken out by Eve, but return kill comes in. Double already for Bang and SKT. They back out for now. They could turn again. Wraith ults just barely.
Oh,
barely
he misses standard.
Wow, and that's going to be the end of Bengi. SKT has to back off now. Oh, I thought they were going to get the
Was he knocked up?
that.
I didn't actually see, but
I didn't catch it either. I was watching what was happening in the base.
We'll check that one out later, but SKT will immediately turn onto this dragon right here. Take that before there is a chance to respond. In the end, they get the tower, force things through, lose 2 for 2. A dragon turret will be an easy
Shut up, Nami.
inhibitor to take, and that's the thing is Samsung, even though they have these late game assassins, they can't just engage in the front like that, or else they just eat the tidal wave every single time. See right here, and SKT getting a bit unlucky. One hit left on this turret. Kube will Zhonya's bait that out. Bliss does get into the back line, but there is no follow-up really. EasyHoon walks a little bit too far. We're forward right there. Gets kicked by Eve. And now they're been chunked out just a little bit too much. They do attempt to leave the base right there, and Bengi just straight up misses it.
QE combos, man, they're pretty hard.
Good joke.
Yeah, it's oh boy, it's the boss fight, and they finally do get Marin, actually. Pickaboo in a bit of trouble as well, uses tidal wave. Whoa, that's a double kill for Fury, and that is a dangerous situation now for SK Telecom. Can they save this tier 2 turret, they may just have to give this one up.
Well, they still have some wave clear right here, a little bit of danger from the dive, and you know, if you're Marin in that situation, you have to know how Samsung plays. They do this nearly every game that they're behind. They will stand in a brush and wait for you. They will stand there for a long, long time, and now they're forced on the defensive, and they're going to lose an inhibitor.
Wow,
so Samsung having that brush play really work out for them. They were able to collapse on Marin, and that was a good read by Samsung.
Yeah.
Marin has been solo farming side lanes this entire game so far. He's been the one where all the empty lane farm is going. That's why he's so gigantic at the moment.
Yeah, I gotta say, Samsung is, they don't seem to be good enough to win matches yet, but they certainly are improving.
Well, that's just, I mean, they were going to kill whoever ended up going up into that top side. No wards. Samsung picked the right rush to camp, and they do end up, thanks to the Sivir ult and the mobility of Kassadin and LeBlanc, getting the kill onto Peekaboo as well, and they will actually take the first inhibitor of this game, and a bit of a surprise. Marin is capped out in terms of items now with that Randuin's. He is insanely tanky, but he has to be in that team fight situation.
Yeah, did end up going for that Spirit Visage as well, and not the Banshees after all. Huh.
Yeah, I think he wants the additional sustain via his passive.
Right.
And also the CDR, so I'm a bit surprised. I think the Veil would have been a little bit better here, but I understand it's not. Obviously, it's still a perfectly fine buy.
No. Fury certainly not lacking in CS or items right now. He has become extremely terrifying. Picking up that Bloodthirster and the Quicksilver Sash as well. Although it looks more like a Quicksilver headband, really. Not very Sash-esque. When you have the art from that angle, from the down up, it really makes it look more like a headband, doesn't it?
It really does.
All you have to do is flip that icon upside down and it would look a lot more like a sash. Honestly.
I totally agree with you, actually.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Zeke's Herald from Peekaboo.
Wow. Huh.
Oh, it's good in this circumstance.
Yeah, it's great. It's just not something we see very often.
Yeah, really helping out EasyHoon and Bang.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot more attack speed.
Here we go.
Teleport. It's Marin time with the home guard.
Oh, is he actually going to catch this Janna? No, but
oh boy.
He is going to zone him out. Fury can't really contest this red buff right now. All of SK Telecom piling in to the jump. They found him.
They got him. Wraith gets the knockup as well, too. They're going to get at least one kill, and this is getting dangerous. Peekaboo throws the ward. Can he catch Eve? Eve running back to his team, but Marin's right there. Look out. Twist advanced right onto him. Eve knocked up, of course. Safeguards away. Kicks Marin back. Eve, man, this guy has some mechanics. Still gets knocked up by Bengi. There's a cataclysm. They get Bengi, though. Wow. Bengi. Oh, Bengi.
Not really worth it when Lee Sin didn't have an ult anymore to use his ult in that situation to try and lock him down. In fact, they were going to have to retreat. Okay,
or are they?
Spell shield on the Twisted Advance.
Yep. Marin going in. They do take the inhibitor now. A little bit of damage onto Kuve. I don't think so.
Yeah, they have to back off. Super minions at their Nexus turrets right now. They need to recall. Can Samsung delay? They have a lot of tools to do so.
They also want that 5th dragon as well, but they're going to lose this Nexus turret before anything happens here. Fury trying his best to stop these recalls. He stops Marin's. Bang does get back. Fury turned around on Marin, pops the ultimate. EasyHoon, he needs to decide if he's going to help or if he's going to go away. Decides to make a run for it. Bang clearing that up, but not before they lose that Nexus turret. Marin, if Marin goes down, I think Samsung could win this game. Oh boy.
He has to be so careful about the damage from EasyHoon, however.
Yes, he does.
He still doesn't have a Zhonya's Hourglass. Oh, my.
I think Samsung should consider going after this dragon too if they can. That would be
they have to fight it.
For SK Telecom.
Yeah, they don't have a choice. They must fight at this 5th dragon.
Okay, well.
Or they try and trade it for the Baron. They can attempt that as well. In fact, they're going on to the Baron right now.
True enough, Bengi needs to be
risky.
Careful. Bengi needs to be careful.
Super risky from Samsung. Well, I feel this is a bit of an overcommitment. Bliss is there, putting down some damage onto Bengi, but
Samsung has to back off. They cannot do this. This is a desperation move by Samsung. Here we go, SK Telecom coming in. No knockups with the Whirlwind. Bengi jumps in onto Ease. Kill already for Bang. Oh, they get Fury right off the bat. Now Eve is going to go down. Baron buff does go to Samsung, but only Kuve and Bliss around to handle that. That Nexus turret a bit low. Bliss, can he backdoor this possibly?
The inhibitor's going to be coming up
so.
really soon. Marin is already there. No
Okay,
way
he's just recalling.
that he can do that. Dragon is up. SK Telecom wants to push down into the mid lane, looks like.
You know, is that the best idea, or should they just go take the Dragon? What do you think?
I think they should go take the Dragon once this inhibitor comes
There
out.
are long death timers. If they got Bliss, that's the game right there. Nobody's stopping them now. Minion waves, there's a little bit of one there. There's enough of one there. Kube taking some damage. And that, with that super minion coming in, SKT should be able to end it right here. And they will.
Nothing really that Samsung can do.
Yeah.
I think that was a very foolish decision. Samsung didn't have to all in at that Baron.
Well, again, you know, lacking some of that late game decision making. But GG, there it is at the end. SK Telecom getting the 2-0. And, you know, despite the 2-0, yes, it was fairly convincing for SK Telecom. But I got to say, I feel like Samsung, I feel like that was their best series yet, even though it was a 2-0.
They stepped up. They did give. They looked better and more cohesive as a team. Especially in terms of trading objectives, which has been a weakness for Samsung up until this point, and they managed to take down an inhibitor, SK Telecom, with a mistake by losing Marin in that top side that caused them to fall behind by an inhibitor. But Marin overall that game was very good, just that one mistake holding him back. He's been great tonight as a whole, really.
Yeah, he really has been a champ in both games, and you know, Faker may have overshadowed him a bit in game number 1, but I've got a feeling Marin should get the MVP for game 2.
Yeah, he played very, very well again. Huge CS advantage, monster tank, great zoning in those team fights. Good teleports as well. He really did a lot to help his team win, corralling a bunch of people at the end by siphoning off Wraith and Eve into that brush of the river. Really nicely done, actually.
Yeah, I agree. Good split pushing as well. And wow, 459 CS too, so really getting quite a bit of creep score that game. EasyUn doing just fine himself on that Jace. 2-1-8 overall, and Samsung, yeah, it's another loss. Yeah, they're still winless in matches overall, but again, you know, I do feel like we're seeing a little bit of improvement, slowly but surely.
Their last 3 games have been much more encouraging than what we saw previously in this season. It seems like they're actually starting to develop their style to figure out what works for them.
Yeah, and I mean, if we look at their faces right now, yeah, there's a bit of disappointment, but it doesn't look that bad. They're like, yeah, you know what? Not bad.
I mean, they're not just getting totally blown out anymore, so that's... I mean, it sounds kind of pessimistic when you put it that way, but it is an improvement for this team.
So far, I think the hardest blow we've seen has still been IM. Unfortunately for them. Maybe KT.
No, KT has not been blown out like Najin blew
not
out
like
IM.
IM, yeah.